What kind of oils or fats or butter can I cook with on the carnivore diet? This is question number 23 on my frequently asked question playlist on my YouTube channel. If you see this on TikTok, please follow me on YouTube. If you see this on YouTube, please follow me on my TikTok channel. The link to that is in the description, as well as a link to my blog. On TikTok you'll find my blog link on the photo profile, as well as my YouTube link. So on the carnivore diet, we need to cook only with real butter and real animal fat. If you want to cook with olive oil, you need to make sure that it's a very pure and high quality olive oil that is not rancid or diluted with canola or sunflower oil. 80% of all olive oil that you can find in grocery stores are diluted and contaminated with sunflower oil and canola oil. You should not at all cook with sunflower oil or with canola oil. Canola oil is a natural insect repellent, and sunflower oil becomes a trans fat if you heat it up. A trans fat is not a food, but a food additive, and it clogs up your cells. Go and watch video number 60 on my blog for further information. What other kind of oils can you use? You can use palm oil, and you may use coconut oil. The trouble with coconut oil is that they sometimes add emulsifiers, which causes gut permeability. Again, with palm oil and with coconut oil, it can become rancid, it can go off. You also should not overheat olive oil or coconut oil or palm oil at all. So it's better to cook with real animal fat, ghee or suet, or any kind of animal fat that you can find is perfectly fine. Fat that is sourced from geese, pigs, or cattle or sheep is perfectly good to cook with. I want to refer you to two studies that were buried. They both ran from 1966 to 1973 and 1968 to 1973 respectively, and they were done with two kind of groupings. The first grouping had people that used unsaturated fat, with other words canola and sunflower oil, and the other group had used only butter, with other words saturated fat or animal fat. And these studies did not come out for, in one case, 16 years. It was in the Sydney Diet Heart study that ran from 1966 to 1973. And when they asked them, why didn't you bring this study out, they said no, they were not happy with the findings. So the mortality rate of the people on the canola oil, the unsaturated oil, was 62% higher. They died more on the seed oils than on the butter group. The same happened with the Minnesota coronary experiment that ran from 1968 to 1973. The study didn't come out until 2013. Again, the person was on his deathbed, and they asked him, why didn't you bring the study out? He did not even publish the mortality rate, and the same reason applied. He was not happy with the results. With other words, they were biased. They tried to prove that saturated fat, animal fat, is bad for you, and unsaturated fat the seed oils are good for you, but they couldn't prove it. In fact, their studies proved the opposite. So palm oil and olive oil, as well as coconut oil, are saturated fats. They are the good fats, but as I mentioned, there's certain things that you have to watch out for, which I won't repeat now. So it would be better to use saturated fats, in other words, animal fats or real butter to cook with. How can you tell the difference between real butter and fake butter? You read the label, read the fine print. If it says sunflower oil or vegetable oil or canola oil or any other plant oil, don't use it at all. Don't buy it. Also check out for emulsifiers, stabilizers. Normally emulsifiers read E344, for example. So this is about the saturated fats and the unsaturated fats. I won't go into detail why unsaturated fats are bad for you, apart from the studies that I've mentioned. But check out video number 60 on my blog about unsaturated and saturated fats in regards with insulin resistance. So real butter in texture is also different than artificial margarine or butro. You should not buy butro at all. In texture, real butter is much firmer than fake butter products, artificial butter products like butro, which is much softer. And of course there are seed oils mixed in, hence the texture difference, and easier you can spread the product. That's a sure sign that it's diluted. It's better to source real butter from a local farmer or make it yourself. We have a recipe book that will soon be on the blog, carnivoreway.blogspot.com. The link to that is in the description.